Welcome everybody to Team Deck Planet Talk number 2. We're back out here, and we're going to be talking about the regionals that happened this weekend. We had the PPG in Kansas, and we did have our resident judge here judging that event. And we are also going to be talking about Core, but you know what? I'll just pass it off to Mr. Hoffman here. Let us know how that PPG went.
Overall, it went pretty smooth. It was actually my first time head judging, so that was it's pretty nerve wracking. I had quite a few judges on emergency calls as I needed it. Machado's pretty knowledgeable as well when it comes to ruling, so I also had him as a back burner if I needed it. Eddie St. Hilaire was obviously also there. He placed second place, so I had him. Yomi was also there, so I had her there if I really needed it. I didn't really need to fall back on much of anybody for a lot of the rulings. The only thing I had an issue with was the recent change actually to the Zenkai ruling regarding the Cell battle card, or the Cell Zenkai card. Mm-hmm. So obviously right now it's about to be changed to where if the Zenkai Cell battle card absorbs a Zenkai battle card, it's removed from game. But prior and at the regional inside of Kansas City, it was ruled that it would go underneath. So in the future, I don't know when whatever Bandai gets on it, obviously it'll change to where it's removed from the game. So Cell can absorb it, but once it's removed from the opponent's battle area, it'll get removed from game instead. So it won't physically go under the card. So that was really the only, like, oh shit, I had to really think about it type thing. I mean, there was only 39 people, so yeah, it was a regional, but it was kind of more like a store championship size in my eyes. It really wasn't that really big of an issue. Simple questions came up a lot of the time. It really wasn't a thing. It was more like, a lot of these cards now are, when I swing with it, combo with a card from the drop, like the Bardock leader, I think some Sin Shenron stuff, the SS4 stuff. They combo with cards from your dropper from the field, even if, for the autos, even if the attack is negated. So people were wondering if, can I still Z charge these even if the attack is negated? So it was like simple stuff like that where I just had to kind of explain to them when to Z charge compared to when the card goes to the drop area. So even if attacks are negated and you're comboing via auto skill like that, or like on the Android 17 and 18 unison that's ran in Gamma, you're still able to choose that card that's in a combo area, put it in your Z energy prior to it hitting the drop area. So you still have the availability to use that as a Z energy charge, so it's not wasted per se. Really the only thing that really sucked about the whole event was the damn internet. Like, we tried for 3 rounds straight to hit the live button on the stream, and we thought it was running. Ran it like it was running. Wasn't running. So we ended up having to record it on Streamlabs, and that's why they posted individual videos online. And, which sucked, because, everybody likes to watch live as it happens compared to watching videos on YouTube of especially big events like this. So that sucked. And I had to step out of the venue, like the conference room that we were in, to try to get a signal to update the rounds every time. So like it was a pain and a hassle for me to update the rounds. But as it got later in the night or later in the day, people started leaving the convention, and the free Wi-Fi that they had got less and less bogged down, so the rounds later on in the event started being able to go faster and faster, which was good. So, like, the first 4 rounds was crap in between the rounds. It was like 5-minute delays in between each round. But then from like rounds 4 to round 8, it was like 30-second turnaround. Like, it was like, okay, the last person, they submitted their round results. I got it. Paired rounds, announced rounds, everybody sat down, cool, your timer starts now, get going, let's go. And we were like right on top of it. There was no turnaround. Like, you didn't have time to breathe in the next round. So it went really smoothly once the internet started cooperating pretty much. And PPG did a great job. They were giving away free mats if you subscribe to FOEs and PPG's YouTubes. So it was pretty cool. I got a really dope Bardock crew mat. So got to support my boys. But other than that, I mean, it was nice. It was good. I was the only judge there, really. But I mean, that's not a surprise with a 39 man event. So
Fair enough.
Yep.
How did the deck spread look there? Like, what were you seeing a lot of? What were some decks that were interesting you? Obviously, all the new Zenkai shit. It's a regional, like fresh off of a new set coming out, so people are gonna try their luck at new decks and all that.
So actually, I have it written down here. So the only Trunks Jita to show up was Eddie, who got his second place. There was 6 of the red Shinrons. There was 1 of the Ultimate Deck Cells. There was 1 of the SS3 Reboot Gokus, which we obviously know won. Dane's list, so Dane won. There was only 2 of the SS4 Goku Vegetas from the new set.
Really?
1 launch, and it was this is all I believe top 16 as well. Sorry if I didn't say that. And the launch was blue red, and then 2 gammas, 1 SS2 Gohan pushed to the brink, the blue skillless Gohan package, and then 1 King Cold, which I think, oh crap, I can't remember his name now. He's been on King Cold probably just as much as Butters has been on King Cold.
Oh wow, that's a statement.
I can't remember his name for the life of me right now. I think it's like Josh or something like that. But this dude has been pushing King Cold since Butters has been pushing King Cold, and he's probably on maybe not on the same level like skill wise, but I mean Butters is Butters. Everyone knows him as the green player of the community. So, but I'm pretty sure like that's, I'd have to like go in depth and look at like the whole spreadsheets of all the deck lists to really count stuff, but that's pretty much what the top 16 at least was. But it was I know we had, I think there was 2 black decks. I think 1 was a Meki Kabura and 1 was a Mass Saiyan reboot, if I remember correctly. And those were the only 2 black decks. I think there might have been a second launch that didn't make top. And I think that might have been it as far as like differential. Everything else was pretty much just mirrors of everything else. There really wasn't like a crazy, no surprises type thing.
Well, that skillless Gohan, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
right. I
say,
saw that.
yeah.
I was like, what the hell leader is that? And then I had to look for a minute and I saw the big was it 10 drop? The gorgeous SPR. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, okay, I know exactly what deck that is now. I was like, I really hope this guy pushes up into top 16, and he ended up doing it. So that was pretty nice.
No, that's sick. Yeah, because like all the decks you were naming off, that seemed like a pretty diverse top 16, not like
Yeah,
10 Sin Shenrons and fucking.
yeah, that was probably the only like negative part about it was there was, I think I said what, 9, 6 out of top 16 was Red Sin Shenron. Like that was really the only negative outlook on it. Which I mean is still not that bad. It's
No,
a little bit less than what, half?
Yeah, that's I thought there definitely would have been more. It's awesome to see that King Cold now. They even threw that new promo card for it too that people are hungry for.
Yeah,
so maybe you're gonna
I
see
think
a
that
couple
card's
more.
gonna.
It's
Mhm.
what basically
Die.
becomes it's a free 25k crit. Like that's like
Yeah.
it's 20k. You got the one field that can play it, the one that can boost it up. It's just like, yeah, why not?
Yep, yeah, because it'll give it the field will give it 5k and then it's a 20k base, so it'll come out for, I mean, essentially
For free
1
with
energy
the
or free if you
yeah.
played off the field. Yeah,
Hmm.
it could do some damage, and then you got potentially that 4-drop Frieza from the anniversary box. We don't know what it does. It could be more King Cold support.
It's true.
So we have no idea. King Cold could get a fat stack of support right here coming up in this next anniversary box. We really have no idea.
But yeah, so I guess PPG sounded like it was a success. Besides, obviously, the internet not getting the stream up and all that. But
Yep.
shit happens, Wi-Fi
Yeah.
being stolen by everyone else and making the round way
IPs.
slower.
Yeah, they had their own what's the word? What are those things called? Hotspots. They had their own hotspot, but because we were on the bottom level of the convention center, and the second story of the convention center we were at is so thick that they actually have car shows up on the second floor throughout the year. So there's so many metal beams inside of this convention center that there is no way a hotspot or any type of good Wi-Fi is going to work in this building. So their
Jeez.
hotspot literally wasn't working. Machado's wife was on the phone with whatever company they use for their hotspot, at least for an hour or so, if I remember correctly, bitching, complaining about this hotspot being brand new and not working.
Jeez, literally in a fucking bunker, it sounds like.
Yeah, literally. I mean, the only good part about that is that you can walk right outside and there's food trucks, and the food trucks are spot on.
Better than a bunker.
So when it comes to the PPG event, I will say I'm a little sad that it was the very first event, because I think there's a lot of factors that the average onlooker isn't just going to look at and be like, oh, okay, that's a thing. Like, most people just saw that Super Saiyan 3 won, and that a whole lot of non-anticipated decks were up in Top Cut. Like, we had Gamma, we had Trunks, and Vegeta. And I think that I tried to stress it in a video earlier last week, where it's like, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that went into this tournament. The fact that it came out the same weekend that Dawn of the Z Legends came out was a huge circulation problem. So a lot of people just simply didn't have the cards they needed. And then even if they had the cards they needed, I'm not going to say everybody practices an untap. So some people don't sit down and test until they have the cards. And in that case, you're way more likely to go play U7 Goku, Gamma, Trunks Vegeta, over playing a new thing that you don't even know the ins and outs to. So I feel like for being our first tournament, it was so close to the release of the new set that it almost gave skewed data in terms of where you should move for your next event.
And what sucks even more, actually, because I don't think they put this out there. So PPG, for the 2 weeks prior to the event, was saying, hey, Eddie was posting it a lot. They're like, hey, look, message us. We're cracking cases, obviously, because we're a business. So we're cracking cases. Message us. We'll put singles aside. We'll bring it for you so you have the cards you need for your deck. Sales pitch, blah, 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 blah. No shit. The fucking airlines lost every single card that they tried to ship out. All of their singles that they shipped out, that they were flying checked in bags, were completely lost. They literally came there with the shit that the driving crews brought to there. Everything that they fucking shipped on a flight was gone.
Jeez.
So everything that people bought was lost to the airlines. And I still, I don't work with them, so I don't know if they've gotten them. I don't know if their bags were found ever. But by the end of the event on Sunday, the bags still weren't there. Yeah, it was. I felt so bad, dude.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
Knew what they were looking at.
I got a feeling a lot of these, not except for, but the hell's the word I'm looking for? Since COVID started, all these collectors are getting into shit, so all these prices are spiking. People know what they're looking for. They know what cards look like in X-rays, so not everybody in the world are nice. I'm just saying, there is some skeezy mother effers out there, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if they were lost.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's in a really hard plastic case. This must be worth some money. Oh, found it on eBay. It's worth $3,000. Oh, this is really shiny.
Joke's on them when they spend 5 hours opening all these cards, don't gain a god rare, committed actual fraud, and can sell the entire amounts of the cases for a whopping $800, and it's mostly the secret rares that they pulled. Oops.
GG, well played. You still work for TSA. But overall, PPG did a good job with the event. The event ran well. I think prizing was given out well. I really wish there was more people would have showed up. I tried so hard to tell people, I'm like, look, if you guys have the time, Kansas City has 3 out of the top 10 nation's best barbecue places.
Look,
Just
bro.
saying.
Midwest, mid pass. All right. Look, the word starts off with mid. That's a wrap for me.
I'm telling you, go online and look up the top 10 places in the United States for barbecue, and 3 of those top 10 places, I'm not saying they're first, I'm saying 3 out of the top 10 places in the United States to get barbecue, and 3 of them are in Kansas City.
I'm just saying, maybe if the tournament was in Best West or Pog West, I'd be down. But Midwest, you lost me. You lost me,
West.
Pog West.
I would travel to a place called Pog West. That sounds
Sounds litty titty.
So what do y'all think? If you're not playing red, you're not gonna win in the future, or what?
Hell no.
Blue's disgusting right now.
The Pycon SRs, like the things that came out with that stuff, they bussin'. That's all I gotta say.
If you're not playing Bardock's crew, you're
Alright,
fucking.
Ew.
You're
I definitely
buns.
think red and blue are just so much.
Red's
like,
a problem.
Look,
a big like. I won't play if if Gogeta doesn't get hit.
red, it's weird for me. Red is overtuned right now. Yes.
Oh, way overtuned.
I think though, and like I guess this is just how my brain works. Red is in a weird place because normally I always I advocate for red smacking the dog pee out of blue left and right. But I think both of the current red decks are not necessarily, they're not naturally attuned to hit red in its pre-stabilization point. Gogeta has fine-tuned areas of burst, but its biggest play is not coming before 4 energy. They have a bunch of smaller plays, but it's not going to be hard for a blue deck to find a single copy of Dirty Burst before you get to 4 energy. And so because of this, I think that blue almost gets a free pass to stabilize versus Gogeta unless you're running some super slick stuff. Like shoutouts to Juha, he was running Scions in his Gogeta deck, and that allowed him to play the Vegeta GT vanilla, and then he would swing with those and then start comboing with them too, and it just gave it a lot of momentum to drop his opponent down to a really precarious position before they could even get to 2 or 3 energy. But Sin, most of its early game power came from the big triple strike going critical and swinging you from 6 to 3 when you can't even use blocker negates and you might not have sparking set up. And blue runs enough negates to be nah, I don't think I will, and just demagic you or blocker negate. They're not going to get caught lacking by that. And so these normal red decks, well, these top tier red decks are not in a normal red space. They're very powerful. One filters its butt off and has crazy burst turns that seem almost nigh impossible to combo out of. You've got another one that'll sit there and mise your board, hit you quick and cheaply when it can. But none of these decks are hitting blue on turns 1, 2, and 3, where it's almost the most important times to hit them. I've been playing a ancient deck like Gohan, and I'm still putting people down to 5 and then comboing up to 55 with Champa, knowing that you're not stopping that from 5 to 3. And then you need Hatch or you're dying in the next 2 turns. Generally, there's a lot of attacks going on here. But yeah, I just don't think that red is currently in a space where it can handle blue the way red normally handles blue. So this leads to this weird format where red is maybe 50-55% favored, but blue is a solid 45-50 itself. And
then everything else is just
everything. I have a thing
It's
about
just
it.
there.
Black is off the map. Green is not weak right now, but green cannot hold a candle to red. It's in this really weird balance right now where I'm going to save yellow for 2 seconds from now, but you have red and you have blue, and they're doing this, and occasionally a blue sneaks by. But if we ever got to a point where blue started edging its way out of the format, green would come over, literally the gun behind the gun, and start capping blue out. And then the moment that happens, red is on the floor, call an ambulance, but not for me, because red just cannibalizes green. So it's legitimately, it's this weird flux right now. The moment blue takes more meta spots than red, green becomes the best rogue pick, which will then make eventually red the most rogue pick. But a lot of people are sleeping on yellow right now. Monkey Goku is by far the best starter.
Yeah,
Agreed.
It's not
insanely. Yeah, it's insanely better than the other three.
It is not even close, and like it's just yes, and it's just no, put that down, not that one. I was saying yes because I thought that was actually the leader card, and I saw what card that was, and I was like, hold up, chief, wait, partner. But like I don't know, man. Like one of my most often testing partners has been on Monkey Goku for a while. He was on Gotenks, now he's on Monkey Goku. That deck has so many legs. Like, can I get games off of it? Yes, but like, do you know how scary it is to look at 5 energy and be at 4 or 3 life versus Monkey Goku? Bro, they will turn their leader sideways and be like, anything. And this is the moment. You have a hard negate or you prepare to lose. Because the next thing is, I'm going to tap 1, remove a monkey, Z Awaken. I'm now like, what, base 20, double strike critical for no freaking reason. I'm going to then super combo, combo something else. Oh, by the way, Gohan Piccolo. So now eat this 95k double strike crit to your 3 life. Should have negated, bro. Skill gapped. And then you take that 2 crit, and their secret rare comes into play, and they turn that bitch sideways, and you're like, wow, perhaps I could get out of this with this negate that I didn't have before. But even if you were holding a negate for some reason, guess what? They still have 4 energy up. So you're about to get cooler. And then they're about to just put their entire hand on the rest of that shotgun. And guess what? Let's say that they combo that secret rare up to 65k, and you combo it out, and now you only have 2 cards in hand. Well, you know what? If I didn't use that cooler, if you didn't have the negate before on the leader, which is where you should have negated, then you didn't have the negate on that Gohan Piccolo. So they drew 3 or another card from Gohan Piccolo, and they're swinging, they're shotgunning. You block that shotgun. Cool. I'm going to hit you with this mirror now, and the mirror is going to be thick as hell. Did you somehow find a negate that you didn't have in those other 2 attacks? Cool, bet. Now it's Oolong's turn.
One. Yep.
Look at that disgusting face.
So
I'm telling you.
Look at that booty.
5 energy, you at 4 to 3 life. It's the worst position you could be against Monkey Goku. That turn is disgusting. Like, leader's on board, Z Awakens index, so all you need is the leader, Mira, and your freaking secret rare. And that's not hard to find by turn 5. At that point, it's almost your ass. Like, the rest of that combo comes from your Z deck. Like, nah, people are, I think, on cock and balls sleeping on yellow right now. I just don't understand why. Because it handles so many other decks. Like, people are like, oh, well, like, blue can wall yellow because they both go late game. I'm like, have you played Monkey Goku? Because there's like 5 freaking barrier, blocker, negate, barrier, dual attackers, like, and they're all for 15. If you have the Sensu Bean, I'm happy for you, dog. If you don't have the Sensu Bean, good luck being blue and stopping 6 different attacks coming at you. But it's not even just 6. Like, my leader's swinging, my 2 explosive spirit Son Gokus are swinging, my dual attack barrier Goku's swinging. Do I have extra energy? Bet. He's evolved into a monkey now. I'm going to tap Yamcha. Yamcha's going to untap this dude. I'm swinging at you. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know what people are thinking when they just look at this deck and they're like, I don't know. I'm going to play Gamma instead. I'm just like,
yeah.
all right.
Goku.
All right, my guy.
No, finally finishing that deck today by buying the second star deck. Holy shit. It is insane. I literally don't even have the Go on Secret Rare. I'm just a bum running the Super 17 just so I can have a Bloodlust for fun. But, yeah, just going into this past 4 energy and that whole Yamcha play too, where you're swinging twice with that barrier blocker, X evolving on top, swinging with your leader, restanding Yamcha to restand that draw card, and it's just like that card's already basically a Turles for 1 energy, and then you're playing your Turles. Like, there's so many things you can do, just like as soon as you can get like 1 or 2 barrier guys on the field, it's just like, yeah, you got removal effects? Do they go through barrier? Okay, so we're going to be fine here. I'm going to be able to stabilize whenever the fuck I want.
Did you swing with that? Cool. Let me free play this.
Yeah.
ESS and then just blow up your... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Your current left one, does it have barrier? Nope. All right, I'll play my Goku and kill it for free.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much energy it is, too, right?
Yep.
It's just nuts.
Upset.
So I'm going to play this Bardock's crew and draw a card.
All right. Well,
There you go. That was the best joke said so far.
Anyway.
I definitely do agree. Like that deck is very, very annoying to deal with because like it isn't just like, oh cool, he rests all my stuff, because that already has its own interactions. Because like normally like people are like, oh, I can leave this up for like comboing or whatever. No, you can't even do that. It makes Majin Buu Unison useless in certain aspects, of course, right? So like, but the thing too is like everything in that archetype has barrier. Like, come on, like how much removal do you really need to run to get clear all that? Like it's a nightmare.
It is. There is more barrier in that Monkey Goku deck than I've seen in the past like 4 formats meta tables. Like it's actually just insane. Like I'm like, do you have barrier? Do you have barrier? You just get to the point where you're like, of course you have barrier, and they're like, no, the monkey doesn't have barrier, and you're like, it doesn't. And they're like, no. Well, I'm gonna kill it. Bet it dies. I bring back a Goku with barrier. I'm like, oh, oh,
Yep.
Nani?
Pretty much.
But I'm guessing that's becoming like Yellow's like thing, barrier cards.
And it's still keeping its rest everything. So shut down your turn, and then I have these guys that you can't get rid of on your turn. So have fun. Because Trunks Jita, yeah, a bunch of barrier stuff too, right? That's what it seemed the last 2 strong yellow decks have just been. You're like, okay.
Even the 3-drop Z battle card has barrier.
Yeah, that's the only one that has just like native, like it's just barrier opposed to gaining barrier or some other shit. It's deflect barrier and then what else? It's got some like it rests cards by ditching Z energy.
Let's look at my Bardock deck and see how many barrier cards I got in here.
Yeah, they that
Bardock is zero.
Sorry, I said good yellow decks. That and Piccolo, those. Let's not get ridiculous here.
They said Piccolo and I almost caught A.
Yeah, exactly. That's if we're talking about one Bardock thing that's set that might, potentially have something to it, not anything crazy meta relevant. SS4 with that new black-red card, like playing against that, it's annoying and it's definitely strong having, the leader constantly beamed, but still nothing crazy.
Sir, I just want to tell you, when you get up from that chair, I hope you stub your toe on an air mattress.
Oh man, Wait, on an air mattress though?
Honestly, the insinuation that I'm sleeping on an air mattress made it hurt more. So, so it was a better burn.
Look, all I think people need to know is that Gogeta is sham. Gogeta, I don't know. Gogeta is good, but like I just get so annoyed when people feel like they're like Einstein braining playing Gogeta, and I'm just like,
it's like, bro, you played a 1-drop for free. You comboed with it. You drew 2 cards, and then you swung with a crit. Congrats.
For real.
I'm not gonna lie. Their turn 2, both Sin and Gogeta's turn 2, be disgusting. Like
it's the same fucking play.
It is.
Unison, yep.
How's it disgusting? How's it disgusting? It's the same deck.
It's a Unison.
They're doing it a little different.
What are you tapping the other direction?
Gogeta has the double strike 20k, and then you got Sin with the Sin 20k double strike, and then after
Sin
that,
taps their leader this way. Gogeta taps their energy this way.
Better do the fusion dance over there.
But legit, their turn 2 is very similar and very strong. And fucking Sin could just hit you with crit with that double strike. And then they play the Piccolo, the KP. It's disgusting. I hate that turn. Their turn 2 is disgusting.
I mean, they have to find, if they find the 1-drop, they find the 1-drop, and it's like it's hard to really like go against that. Like, look, it happens or it doesn't happen, but like all I know is that I'm really tired of Gogeta players because it's the same people that are sucking off Gogeta that told me that I was like a freaking scrub for playing Gohan and spending half my game filtering through cards just so I could burst you down on like turns 3 and 4 and 5. And the same people are sitting here drawing card after card after card just so they can tap 4 and attempt to blow you out late game. And I'm just like, all right, look, you're hypocrites. And I don't respect you. That's all. That's all.
It's because it's Gogeta. It's not Gohan. It's Gogeta.
Play this card for 1 combo. Draw 2 cards. Scry 3. Bottom deck 2.
Hey, look, I go through my deck faster, all right? Oh, you just spent.
The cat doesn't even like it, bro.
Look,
Just be the resident Gotenks player.
you
Green Gotenks.
literally spend all this time
Say hi,
resolving
Fern.
your effects when you could just be drawing 3 cards.
Come on. Say hi.
They're all gonna end up in my hand regardless. Like I don't even front anymore. People are like, "Do you have your secret rare?" I'm like, "Look at my deck.
Hey.
Look at these 7 cards left. Are you going down to 1 or are you not going down to 1? Well, I can't combo over 120k. Great, I'm tapping 4.
Hi.
That's all you had to tell. That's all you
Hello.
had to say.
That's true.
Where's your mother? Why are you here?
So where is your mother? I don't know, but Sin is so funny because it's like you're on turn 2 and they're on their turn 3, and it's like Sin when I don't have a hard negate, and you're like, ooh. And it's like Sin when I have literally a set 1 Vados assistance, and you're like,
Wow, so back.
Swinging at me, like I'm just gonna tap 1. And are you done? All right, cool. I guess it's my turn.
I think red on red is actually an easier matchup.
For what? Autistic children?
No. Like Gogeta versus Sin, like Gohan, Red Gohan versus Sin or Gogeta. You have, like, I don't know. It's more of a fair fight. So if you're playing a red, because you do play Gohan, the matchup seems different. But if you're almost any other color, you're like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do here?
Yeah.
Run a hard negate. Look,
But
I'm not gonna
I think
pretend
the
everyone's
best-
gonna be manly.
The best matches lately have been like the same colors. Like I played Gotenks over the weekend, and I would play the green King Piccolo, and we had great matches. But when I sat across from Gogeta, it was like, scoop.
I mean, it's very
I don't even want to
unfortunate.
sit here and go through the motions.
You playing a deck that comprises itself mostly of 10 and 15Ks, being a King Piccolo player. Like, if you were to run up against any deck that could mise you the hardest, it's probably the deck that consistently breathes and just minuses shit by 15K. So, like, red versus green right now is so
Right off.
it hurts. And then, like, I don't know, man. While we're on the topic, every time somebody cries about black being shafted, like, somewhere, like a blind child regains their sight. Like there is somebody in dire straits that is blessed by God whenever somebody cries tears over black not being snapped this format. It is so stupid. Like they can chill for a little bit. This is literally coming from a primarily black player.
How long did they dominate for? Like a whole ass year. It was insane.
It was a while. It dominated for a long while.
Dude, Vegex.
Super Saiyan 3.
Oh yeah, I forgot Vegex.
Vegex to Dark Broly to
I still have
Gogeta.
a local player.
Vegeta.
So
Vegex, like, oh my god, huh?
What is it called? Unison format. They dominated the entire.
I still have a local
Pretty
player
much.
that still plays Vegex.
Remember when
Literally.
SS3 Black Mass Saiyan, like back in the day, with crit
Yeah.
started?
I mean, it was like the starter set was good. I liked it as like an anti like Mecha Frieza GT, but I'm just saying, like, it literally just hit the ground running. Like, Vegex came out and it was going far too ham, and then they got shot, and then it was like, I'm not done yet, and they got shot again. It's like, I'm still not done yet, and they got shot in the knee, and it was like, but a flesh wound, and they got shot in the face, and it still somehow survived. And then, like, right before it died, like, Dark Broly was like, I will finish what you started, brother. And then, like, got buffed and then kept going over. And then, meanwhile, like, Dark Broly's ruining the format. Vegex is still playable, missing 2 limbs and an eyeball.
And then
in the background, Gogeta Zeno is just like, yes, with just 5 more shadow buffs, I will become the menace that I need to be. And then it happened. They were just like, you know what this deck needs? More support. And I'm like, no, Dark Broly is just broken. This deck is fine. Dark Broly is just broken. And then Dark Broly was like, oh shit, did I get shot for like the 5th time in a row? Like Dark Broly was funny. They dropped the meteor on it, like Madara style, and it was like, boom, caught it. And then Bandai hit it with that hard bandless, but what will you do about the second one? And just destroyed the entire deck.
It's like that was scene with Sasuke where he drops the fucking meteor and then he drops another one on top of it.
Actually just like busted. And then that's when Gogeta Zeno was like pushes rubble off itself and is like, we can work with this. And
I was
and then,
sleeping
oh my
there.
God. it just hurt me so bad. Like we were sitting there like, wow, this deck really high rolls. At least it's not getting any worse. And they're just like Super Saiyan God Trunks SR. I was like, why would you do that? like do you guys even test?
Distraction was though during that time. It was KP. KP was the distraction during that time.
Oh my gosh, KP was still the better deck overall, but it was just so gross that like it's just like I'm trying to. This is gonna be a really deep take. Has anybody here played Destiny, like the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I haven't played in a while.
There was this gun, this silver gun called Hawkmoon. It was a PlayStation exclusive. Super little perk was called Luck in the Chamber. 2 of the bullets could do 500% damage. Then you got this, what's it called? Holding Aces, which added an additional bullet. You could change the mag size to 9 from 12. And then the bullets were not supposed to be separate bullets. The way it was coded, they could collapse on one. So you could be getting shot in the toe and just Blue Moon, one of those 9 bullets just had a 500 multiplier with a 500 multiplier with a 500 multiplier, and your character would get evaporated getting shot in the butt cheek. And it was gross. So like this is how
What happens when it slips in the hole?
This is what Gogeta Zeno felt like to me. You could play against a normal aggro black deck, and there was just this one time where like you went second, and on your turn 2, for no reason at all, you were looking down a thwarting a Super Saiyan God Trunks, a freaking 6-drop Overrealm. And you're sitting here charging your second energy with 2 freaking life, and you're like, wow.
I'm over here playing Future Gohan. Like, what do I do with it? I can't find my Vegeta Unison.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
I remember.
Myself.
I guess I'm going to have to hold up both my energy for 2 negates. And they're looking over here with the other Fighting Against Fate in hand. The Super Saiyan Trunks in field, but the other one removed. And they're like, well, it's already removed. It's saltier than that. They start out their turn, they draw, they charge to 3 energy, and they go, yeah, something about top 5. Like, something about, like, removing stuff. We're going to just remove stuff. Maybe we got our Unison. Maybe we're just using these cards. Oh, is that another Trunks? Bet. Let's go. And you're just like, all right, I guess. Like, I don't know. Black has had its share. And they keep centralizing it around Black Sands. So it's like, when people cry about Black not being good for, I'm sorry, 2 sets, a set and a half, like, just shut up. Just literally shut up, go away. Wait, I guarantee it'll come back at some point. Like, Bandai does not know how to balance Black. They're either breaking it or they're literally printing jank. Like,
and when did the terror begin?
When the
right?
terror,
You remember when the terror? Yeah, when did the terror begin? It started in Unison Warrior 2. So that's when they started Vermilion Bloodlines with everything.
Yeah.
So
You still had
It
Vegex.
still was starter deck,
It might
right?
be Cummings.
Vegex?
It was the Vegex starter deck.
There was the starter deck for the first Unison set, and then that was the draft box 6 stuff got banned because of Vengex. And then, the Vermilion Saiyans came out, and then Black just went on the ground running. That's what the whole thing now. It's funny how you're saying how Black is jank, whatever. I played Shroom and Salsa tonight. Yeah, it's jank, but at least it's fun. I'll give it that. From all the decks I've played this set, they've all been fun. And that's I think what's really important. I know in the competitive scene, fun, you don't give a fuck. You just want to make your opponent miserable. But obviously, that's a big aspect to the casual players, just having fun with the decks. And I think Shroom and Salsa, Roshi is another one, which I don't think are incredibly competitive, but they're fun. I just built the Roshi, Shroom and Salsa, and I just finished the Kid Goku. And obviously, the Kid Goku, I think, is definitely by far the best out of the 3, but the other 2 are super, super fun. It takes a little thinking with the decks, because the Shroom and Salsa, you just have to do like 30 things just to, play a card properly. Yeah, to play a card. But that Z Awakening turn, when you're going in and you're going double, that's how I won the game, was just like swinging with the leader, and it's just like, you have 2 life left, you forgot a negate, buddy. And then just go into the Z and combo out 3 things from the warp, and then go nuts and just shotgun for game. But I don't know. That's one thing that I hope comes with, obviously, the anniversary box. From everything we're seeing now, we're getting the official reveals. Unfortunately, we got that Zamasu one wrong. I was hoping it was something with the 7 Dragon Balls and something snapped. It's double strike. It's something. It's not anything crazy, but it's something. But hopefully it keeps that tone of being just fun stuff to boost, like, obviously the anniversary is boosting older stuff, but just fun stuff to keep, obviously, the game alive that way.
You better
I
watch
just want
out.
to talk about that red-green Brawly card.
It's really nice. It's been out for like a little bit.
The red yellow baby, I think they just released today, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
they did.
That was the first time we saw it.
That
And
was
he's
that
got
goes in
it.
the starter deck, right? The starter deck.
Literally, there is the build that I've been running.
Yeah.
It fits right into it, like perfectly. It is insane what you can do on turn 2.
Because it evolves into that 5-drop that you like rarely play with offering or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to see.
And this deck is designed to play the 5-drop,
really?
but
Okay.
now the 5-drop is literally free. So I mean, not literally, but you
It's
play it
2
over
energy.
it. You play the card and then you can play the 5-drop on top of it for free.
Yeah,
You don't have to.
Gonna be
You
great.
know you're already paying the cost. But
Yeah.
yeah, it plays this 5-drop, which has offering. The thing also that a lot of people aren't noticing is when you play him from the Z battle, you could also play this for free.
Yep, because it's 2 cost.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
search for the offering guy or your heartfelt, and then you also get the Mew. So with the Mew, you play the Mew for free because you're gonna have your red
Red
yellow
from turn
card.
You
You
need
can
a
either
Master
grab
Ball.
the Baby Demonic, or you can grab the freaking Graceful Charity. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm excited for that card.
Before we get too off topic, though, what about the San Diego regional?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
how did
true.
Jared obviously came second. Robert judged.
Yep.
So who are we hearing from first? The voice of God or the voice of God?
Yeah, no, I thought the event ran really smoothly. It was the first best of 3 event that I had played in a while, and I did not realize how unprepared I would be for another best of 3 event. Because at the end of that regional, like, my brain was fried. Like, I could barely think. Yeah, but it was very interesting to see a lot of the new decks. Red Pan's pretty insane. I didn't realize how aggressive that deck would be. I know our teammate Daniel Delby, he was on it. He helped me play test against it. And that Goku 2-drop is just absolutely insane. Like, double strike barrier, dual attack, minus 25 each time it attacks, burn your opponent. It just does so much.
Oh, you mean the Defender of Life?
Yeah, the 2-drop.
Ironically, the man who takes away Mad Life.
But just so everyone at home knows, what were you running for the CoreTCG?
Do you even have to ask?
That's
16, baby.
There you go.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a good pick. It's really good with the Z mechanic just because you get the free Z energy. Once on your turn, once on your opponent's turn. There was some games where I had like 8 Z energy. And it's really good paired with the 3-drop Frieza and the 2-drop, the 2-drop Frieza and the 3-drop Cell. Those cards are really good with 16.
How many rounds did it end up going?
I think we did 7 rounds.
7 rounds?
Yeah, 7 rounds. Yeah.
Was there any like standout like weird deck that you faced off, like any skillless Gohan? I want to know if there's anything that made it that like caught your eye. Obviously, the Pan is probably one that it's probably some people testing a new deck, right? But
yeah, I think I literally played all meta decks, like not a single rogue random deck. I guess Yellow Trunks maybe, but I still feel like that's somewhat meta. But yeah, literally just all meta decks. It was crazy. A lot of red. I think I played 4 red.
What about that weird
like,
guy you played?
Yeah.
Jiren. It was like 4-0 with Jiren before like the gods were like, all right, enough of your insolence.
Hey, Jiren's fitting that red formula. It's just, aggro, let's go. It's just, you face anything with removal, Jiren doesn't do anything at all. It just sits there and just like, okay, I'll play my 1-drop. I will draw 1 and pass.
So I have a question, Jared. Because like I used to play a lot of 16. Because honestly, you kind of inspired me to play 16. Like fucking one of my favorite decks, and that's thanks to you. Because like holy shit, you're fucking genius with that. But like with all this red popping up, Because like you obviously came second, but you're saying you faced 4 red decks, and like I've always like personally always had trouble facing red when I play 16. So I'm sitting here thinking, how the hell did you manage to pull that off? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like definitely not easy. I had to change up my deck a lot in order to adapt against red. Like I had a main Dirty Burst now. Before I wasn't maining any Dirty Burst. You just have to like really know the matchup. Usually I never play any of my 15Ks against red just because they have Yamcha and Vegeta Resolve Renewed. I added Full of Rage, the Android 18 4-drop 20K.
No.
That card's really good against Vegeta. Also good against a lot of the Z battle cards. Like if they play the 2-drop Z-Kai Vegeta and they attack with it before giving it barrier, you just bounce it back to hand, get rid of it.
Damn, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to like main a lot of tech options for red.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. And what would you say was like of the games you played? What was the hardest match you faced?
I think it was definitely Red Pen. Like,
The Red Pen.
I think Tim Palacios was playing that. It was just super aggressive. It was so many swings.
Yeah,
What's up?
he was on stream going against
Andrew, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
another Arizona native. Yeah, but Pan, that deck's just insane. It swings so much.
Like, what's
Yeah,
popping
it's
off?
pretty fun. Yeah. And what would you say was the most fun matchup you had?
Well, I think the easiest was probably SS3, just because 16 has a good matchup against SS3. Like, it's just a lot of hand destruction, and they usually can't handle that. But I think, yeah, I don't know. Every game was pretty sweaty, so I don't know if I necessarily had fun playing any of them.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for the insight on that. I appreciate
Our
it.
game was sweaty.
No, but congratulations on the placing and obviously bringing it home with the Android 16. How did you feel like with the whole 16? Does it just slide right into Zenkai? You obviously getting your free combo right before all these decks now is, oh yeah, combo 5K, get it for free. Android 16 was already getting his free activate battle off. So how did that feel? Like, were you super inclined? I know you were talking about playing the cell and stuff. Were you finding yourself like using it way more than you thought, or was it kind of like, this very specific situation, he's got a huge board, let me use this? What was that like?
Yeah, no, I think 16 slides into the meta pretty well, just because of the, like you said, the free 10K. I was thinking about playing Reboot Cell, just because of how much red there was, and I wasn't that confident that I could beat a lot of the red decks with 16, but with the techs, it made it a little bit easier. I just have so much fun playing that deck, so I just had to run it back.
Heck yeah. Winning with your fave always feels good.
It does, it really does.
I was saying, like, 16 really does, like, there aren't a lot of decks, surprisingly, even though one of the cornerstones of this game is literally just comboing. A lot of decks don't do it efficiently, or they have to start minusing. But that's the whole point. Like, you minus the combo, so using it effectively offensively and defensively is the most important part. But there's just certain decks that really already embraced comboing offensively and defensively more so than the other ones. Like, and it's funny because, like, I consider, like, Jared and I both like different decks that can seamlessly go into the Zenkai format because they're already doing it. Like, you're comboing from your drop, you're using things for arrival. So naturally, you can just slide one of those cards over to the Z Energy Zone. It's not going to be an issue. And I'm over here just like, okay, let me combo Vanilla and a Challenger just to filter 3 cards for a +1. I guess one of these 2 cards can move right into the Z Energy. And there are just certain decks that are already well equipped to just see what the Zenkai format will bring in terms of techs and additions. And so it's pretty tight. And then Energy 16 is always a deck where you can't tackle it like you can normally tackle other decks. Like when you faced Jordan at a Nationals last year, I was straight up just like, damn, Jordan would get paired up against the only deck in the top 4 that doesn't give a single flying F about hand destruction. Like, he will just continue his game with no hand. Well, Sorry, bro. Like, yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yep.
Yeah, that's also one thing I do like about Android 16. It's a very like it never sees a lot of representation, which is one thing I like about it. I always like going with rogue decks, just because it's always on the opponent to play test against those rogue decks, and a lot of people just don't know that matchup because most people just play against the meta decks and don't really test against other rogue decks.
Mm.
Hey, real quick, I gotta go, guys. Have a good night.
You too, man.
Have a good one, man.
Take care.
Well, I know we had someone judging at the event too, or is he still here in the call in the shadows, voice of God as well too?
He's muted, but there.
Is he still in the car?
I think he might be driving.
He might be driving. He's in the
Yeah, 'cause-
McDonald's drive-through. Getting a
20
McGriddle.
nuggets.
Yeah,
I'm just
20
saying, my
nuggets.
guys.
This
Hear me
weekend.
out.
20 nuggets.
This weekend?
The One Piece, is that what we're just switching off to? Is we're just
Nah.
done with Dragon Ball? We're
Nah.
we
No,
go to
we're
One
not.
Piece. Let's
No.
go watch 1,000 episodes of filler, and then
I've
we'll be
watched
good. I'll get
25
caught up.
episodes so far.
Pro tip, read One Piece, don't watch One Piece. Thank me later. Watch the fights and the moments that you like in the manga. Watch them when you want to see them animated. You'll save yourself
Yeah.
heartbreak and a whole lot of time. I'm just going to put it out there. I think Bandai is like, this is the calm before the storm. Like, for the most part, this set has been incredibly well received. And I feel like we're going to be in for some scary stuff soon enough. Can you imagine when we just wake up and we have like the anniversary 3 or 2.8 Anibox, and they just start pulling out the BS like, you've dealt with it once, you've dealt with it twice, well, the third time's the charm. Mecha Frieza comes back with a Zenkai away. Like, bro, I will be heated. Detach one yellow Z energy, reduce the cost of an extra card by 2.
Imagine,
I-
imagine a leader getting
Yeah,
banned
I-
twice.
Say that. Why would you put that out there? No.
You know what?
Spoken
That
into
doesn't sound
existence.
far off. That sounds
doesn't.
very plausible. It sounds
Bad
super
Boy,
plausible.
Dark
Because
Broly
they have-
makes his debut once again. They just give him back his own effect. Like, they give him back
They
his
just-
free erotic effect, and
They
they
just
reduce
love
the
Mecha.
cost by 1.
You know what? Give it to him, but he has to be at 1 life to Z Awaken and get his full effect. They can have their fun. Do it at 1. Go nuts. You'll see it once in a blue
But they
moon.
do that happily.
But
You
like
thought-
the whole Mecha Frieza, that it scares me that does sound like something. At least at least you can't turn 1 do your turn 0 do your counter plays from taking a life. You need to already have Z energy there. But my God, yeah, I just I feel like watching a leader get banned 3 times. Let's do it.
They're
Get in their
Well-
ears. Let them know. Let them know everyone wants Mecha
I'm
Frieza.
just saying, we're already almost potentially en route with the SS3.
SS3.
look, just
Yep.
close your eyes. Just literally close your eyes and imagine a world. Well, you hear it. You just hear it. The very first starter deck leader brought back to its former glory, and you see Super Saiyan Blue Goku evolve into Ultra Instinct. He untaps 3 now, and you can detach 2 Z energy to negate because he's Ultra Instinct. He has a built-in leader negate. He's untapping 3 when he slings now. Look, I think we're close. Bandai's
It's
about
not-
to pull some stuff.
It's not far off. The other one that they just did does have a built-in leader negate too. Like,
It does.
But
Zenkai
don't forget,
Mecha
he
Frieza.
also makes them bottom deck a life until they're at 3 life.
You're not wrong. Wait, all right. Just be real with me, though. Be real with me, though. If we got a Dark Broly Z Awaken, and all that dude did was reduce the black specified cost of each Dark Broly card by 1, and then just gave him his unerrata leader effect, would that deck still fuck right now?
Yes.
it honestly, it just depends where that Z Awaken happens. Like, it had to be so. If they made Struman Salsa 2 fucking life, they better make that shit 2 fucking life.
No,
Oh, they would take some of
6 Dark Broly cards engraved.
Then
6.
then,
6.
then all the guys that are complaining about black, they're fine now. They're saying, okay, our savior's back.
He
2
draws
life,
2 when he flips
6
over, and then he
6
deals
Z energy.
himself, too.
Like, it has to be something very bad.
6 Z energy. Actually, you know what? Z energy and Broly would be atrocious because half your shit has 0.
0
combo.
0. Yep.
Yep.
And you
Wait,
can't
that's
even
actually a good point.
because you
I
can't
don't. I
fuel
still
it
don't
either,
trust
right?
it. Nope. I still don't trust it. I don't trust it. Actually, no. I'm still not on board. Actually, look, strike that one from the records. Just edit out that part because we really don't need Zenkai Mecha Frieza.
Hey,
Like, we don't.
I'm
He's-
fine.
Oh, it's coming. You put it out there, it's coming.
Yeah.
Nah,
you put it out in the
Bandai-
universe, bro. You did it
Bandai is
already.
head ass. Bandai is head ass when it comes to Mecha Frieza. Like, we'll be sitting here going, well, you know what? Yellow doesn't really combo like that. Mecha Frieza has to play extra cards, and you'll see a weird permanent, just one per turn. Just limit one. When you use a yellow extra card, you may add it to the Z energy after resolution. Like, huh?
I mean, that's kind of like what the new King Cold Championship shit does. You can add your fields from the drop to your Z energy now.
That is true.
Dear
That's
God.
pretty hot. Nobody asked for it, but that's pretty hot.
Right?
Butters probably did.
I mean, it's just kind of crazy because I would never even compute King Cole to being Zenkai compatible, but there's somebody in the office. He's probably friends with that idiot who keeps putting fucking Bardock in everything. And like, he's just like, hey, look, I'm just saying, like, Bardock has had more leaders than actual characters that do things. And like, it's just absolutely wild at this point. Like, I see you. If it's you whispering to Bandai's ear, it's just that is. But it's just like, bro, they're like, okay, we got 9 leaders in the set. We need a throwaway. What are we gonna do? And somebody's like,
Fetchminer's
Bro,
like, I
we
feel
just make
bad for
another
this
Bardock.
guy.
So Bardock's in this side
Bardock.
set, and it makes sense because it's like a Namek Saga kind of deal. It makes sense. Cool. Well, no, we're like in the Unison Warrior set.
Okay,
We
so
could
hear me
really
out.
use a red Bardock.
All right, so hear me out, right?
Yellow
So they just
Bardock.
came out with this Bardock deck, right? This next, we've seen leaks in the manga, and I'm not reading it because I have a bad comprehension level, and I read like a 3-year-old. Failed at 9th grade English like 3 times.
That's my Patreon. I'll fix that.
Yeah. So I'm really bad. So about the Bardock coming back into this, I'm gonna say there could be more Bardock support, maybe in Dragon Ball in the next few sets, based off of the next season of Dragon Ball Super.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's
Your
impossible.
hand, don't wave your hand at me. Don't no.
Licensing.
Don't wave
I'm-
that hand at
I'm
me.
waving my hand at you because to
No,
get to Bardock support,
We need
they
to
need to
get
come back to the
Moro.
Granola arc. And to get to the Granola arc, we need to get
Moro.
past Moro. And to get to
Yep.
Moro, congratulations. In 2026, you'll have
Hey.
Bardock.
We finally got a hint of freaking what's his name, the black.
All right, V for Vendetta. Relax.
I'm just saying, they're slow rolling with this Dragon
No,
Ball Z.
yeah, we
brand,
finally
man.
got Cumber. We're getting Cumber. That's fucking hype.
Bro, they said we get Cumber 5 sets ago, dog.
Nah.
Are we
we're
getting movie shit next set? Is like Destroyer Kings 2.0?
I thought we
Yeah.
were
Mm.
go on our superhero stuff next
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
So next
Orange
set-
Piccolo
the-
leader,
the-
like Z leader.
Yeah, this
What's
new Gohan deck that we got, or Piccolo deck that we got this set, whatever the superheroes deck is that we got this set in Zenkai,
Crappy leader.
Look,
getting new support next set.
let's be real about it. At this point, a Z leader is not enough. Trying to
Well, no, we
play-
obviously see that with Wish Zamasu in the anniversary box.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, nah, dude. The only way Piccolo is able to actually play with a new support is if he gets the Vegito treatment. He just doesn't need a Z leader to turn into Giga Chadkalo. He literally needs like a 1-drop Z Awaken that's going to be like every time you discard yellow Pan or Gohan, draw 2 cards. Like the deck, like trying to keep hand with that deck is like trying to pour water in a pipe, like an open-ended pipe. It's not even like a cup with like holes that can retain some water. Like no, you just pour it in the pipe and it just comes out the bottom. Like Piccolo is ass, and this is coming from a person that desperately wanted a deck whose boss monster was Gohan to work. Piccolo is cheeks. He's actually not cheeks. He's the toilet paper that was ran through the cheeks. And
Yeah,
so
'cause-
I don't like it. And so
He's the
I'm
part of the
really
toilet
hoping-
paper that opened when your finger went through the
Oh,
one
yes.
slide.
Unreliable
God.
AF.
Oh,
Unreliable
God.
AF. He needs. At this point, I'm hoping we get a whole nother Piccolo leader because this one is not it. Like, if they could just make another yellow Piccolo leader that Z awakens into, like, maybe starts, he awakens and he Z awakens into orange Piccolo, and then just actually give him an effect that's not head ass, but keep him a yellow superhero Piccolo, that'll just fix everything. But we're gonna get a Gohan leader.
Gohan leader. That's
We're
what I'm
gonna get a
thinking.
Gohan leader. And I'm gonna be real here. I think it's likely that we see another Gamma leader. I know it's like really soon, but I'm thinking about it now. You could give me 3 new cards, 3 new blue or blue-green cards that fit in Gamma that are staples, and I wouldn't know where the fuck to put them.
Give me a
Gamma's gonna be yellow.
Like just hear me out. Yellow or green.
Green.
Because
I feel green. Green to mix.
All I'm saying is
I don't think
like if green will allow some compatibility. They could have green blue charges, and you could still use things like Cell from last set. But I'm saying right now, like even with that new Android 18, I was like, where the fuck do I put this? Like if you made 3 staple cards for Gamma in the next set, and we're like, congratulations, more support. I'd be like, am I running 60 now? Like what's going on here? Like it'd just be bad.
Yeah, the current list is sitting at a fat 54 to 56 easy right now.
I feel like they're gonna make a new Gamma
Doesn't
thing
draw
and
enough.
a Cell Max card.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I think it's going to be off color because usually when they do their sets like the leaders, they don't get compatible with the older ones for it, and then they'll do the support later on for.
That's what happens. I mean, not to bring up my boy Bardock again, but you know.
Not compatible with the red. It's not compatible with the blue.
Yeah, yellow, blue, red, yellow.
They did a really good job with making blue and then blue yellow that wasn't compatible with the original blue leader, but not coming out with the second leader, and then making red.
Okay, how do you know they're not going to take the Android approach? And by the Android approach, I mean making 5 different green Android decks that don't fucking work with each other in the same color somehow.
I mean, they could do that.
That shit.
And then actually what happens is they actually give you a book of matches to burn all the cards.
I heard you liked androids in green. Well, congratulations, because now we're making another android deck that's leader locked and can't work with your other android. I was like, what the? Come on,
and it's a yellow. And it's a yellow Android 13, but it's a
and
green.
a new color called Ashes.
I'm just that
comes with a book of matches.
Shit hurt me. Like we have to have like a whole segment, like an ode to the average green player, because like every other color for the most part is like your sets build off your sets. You have different decks, but new ruler is always going to be that dude. Yamcha, I guess the cycles they work. Yamcha charismatic, but like as a green player, you just have to like know for a fact that 98% of your cards don't have shit to do with the rest of your color. Like they're just new cards with some new gimmick. You're like, wow, I really like this deck. Congratulations. Does it work with King Kai's planet? No, it actually doesn't. All right, well, that's not my problem, dog.
And
that's the one I carry between all these green stupid fucking decks. This is the one. All the Roshi, that King Kai deck, this is the one that has carried me. And now with Zenkai, it feels great.
Oh, I kind of people just pick 3 cards and you like put that back and so help me.
You're just like, yeah.
I wish definitely a good card.
Yeah, I wish the Roshi had World Tournament on the Unawakened side instead of the Awakened side, because then it adds a lot more. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just a bit more early on plays because the 2
the 1-drop Goku.
Yeah, just even that, or even like the announcer or anything like that, just to give it a little more early play. Because you really can't do too much early on, and you have to kind of wait, and then by then, like, oh, I'm dead by red, or I'm dead by something. Like it's just tough because it doesn't have a great early game.
That is good that you mentioned that, because I was playing today. I'm just like, turn 1, I'm just gonna bottom deck this Krillin that I'm gonna play from the field, and I have this extra energy. If I had that Goku World Tournament, I'm making them -1 in hand, so they're starting their first turn with 6 cards in hand, just like I did. They're going to have to charge 1. The next turn I go into Bardock, KO that Goku, because I can't KO any of the 1-drops, which does suck. That I think the only 1-drop that I can KO is the Vegeta Super Combo, because that's another one where I'm like, you know what? This could be either this could be a Super Combo where I use it from hand, or I can -1 from playing it, and then +1 on the Bardock and make them minus another one in hand. But yeah, that Goku would be great turn 1 just to boost the deck.
See, it's crazy because what you said was a good idea, but it would go against Bandai's habit of making green cards interact with cards outside of that initial set.
It's true.
So
yeah,
that's just a no-go, bro.
it's not like green's overpowered right now, right? Like we kind of need something for green. I'm not a green player, but like they make the cool themes and then it ends up being terrible.
I'll be honest, the issue with green, they'll never balance it too far because of the fact that dormant exists. At the end of the day, when you have a card that is a hard, like, okay, it's not hatch level hard floodgate, but it's like probably the second best floodgate in the game when you like think about like stopping your opponent from attacking at all. And it costs nothing other than going -2 in hand, and has the added benefit of potentially killing like a 2-drop or something like that, or clearing tokens. Like, no matter how you look at it, when you look at that in a vacuum, that is an insanely powerful effect. You can do that free turn 1 onwards. So like they have to be careful about how they balance green, because if they go too far, it ends up being oppressive, because green is also that has hand control elements. It's the color that has a lot of KOing elements as well. So when you have the color that does hard floodgate, does clearing board clear, and also does hand control in a game where hand size really, really does matter, if they go too far, it's unstoppable, right? But it's like, what do you do? It's like you have to help them out. Like, you got to get them some good stuff, but it's like you can't go too ham either, otherwise you just break everything.
It's like, that's why like I'm kind of glad that they don't give the OG Android 13 any consistency support. Because the second they give that deck consistency support is the second that I start topping regionals with it. Because I promise you, I've done it at my locals where the Stoic Fist that you have to discard, and you have to discard a 15. You can take up to 2 life, and then you draw a card, and your opponent discards 1, right? I've started turn 1, or going second against Hercule, right? So the card, they combo and they draw a card, and they draw a fuck ton, right? So I was playing against red-blue. So they go first. They charge a red-blue card, so they tap out, right? My turn 1, I saw 2 Stoics, 2 15s, 2 of my Android 18 super combos that are live turn 1, and then a Cell Kamea, and I turned green on turn 1. No shit. Turn 1, swinging at him. I ripped him down to 7 life, which was a crit damage, because I got him to discard a battle card. And he had 1 card going into hand on turn 2. So he drew for turn with 2 cards in the hand. He was forced to charge 1 for energy, and then he swung, and I had another 18 super combo in hand. So when he went to swing, he comboed, drew a card, and I just bottom decked his other card he drew. Like, if you give me any type of more consistency on that, it's unfair. And that's gonna be like, probably, as stupid as it sounds, that's gonna be the best type of hand control deck. Are those types of decks where if you see it, your opponent's not gonna be able to recover from it.
I can see that. I'm also kind of on the weird space of, I think that green, they keep like, green is like almost like the funzo dunzo color. Like, so any other color is rooted really well into identity. Red was always punchy and like take it to their dome. And then when that became too basic to continue in the game as just its solid identity, they started giving it the minus effects. Blue has always been energy manipulation, and when that wasn't strong enough, they started getting into like a bouncing niche. Green from the get-go was hand destruction and like field destruction, which is very, very powerful. And yellow has always been more or less control. You have the only effect negations, then you start going over to tapping, and then they have some draw mixed in because you just need to see more cards in your opponents to have consistent outs when attacking is so valuable in this game. But green has just slowly turned into the like, fuck it, let's try it color. It's like the gulag for like design hell. It's just like, whatever red deck comes out, it's going to be punchy, it's going to minus stuff. But you have green decks, and they're just like, okay, what if we put field cards as your main engine? And somebody's like, but they don't have combo value. And they're like, don't worry about it. Put some hand destruction, a little bit of KO right there, and ship out them field cards. And it's just like, all right, that's a little weird. We'll have it at next set though. What's the other leader for the set?
Buff.
Tokens, yeah, chill tokens. But why? That doesn't even make with a little hand destruction. a little KO, and we'll put some Ribriands in there. And it's like, all right. Like, even look at this set. Gogeta and Sen. Punchy, minus 15s and minus bigger ones on Sen. Okay, cool. Look at the blue. You literally have a whole bunch of manipulation and a whole bunch of bouncing. You get to the green and it's like Roshi. Bro, what are we doing? Like Roshi and then KP, which almost feels like a red deck without all the good stuff that makes red, like minusing everything.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I feel like green is so often Bandai's experimental color. Like look at last set. They were just like, what are you doing with green this set? Unicycle. We're just gonna put a lot of unisons with power on unisons with the power. I'm like, bro, why? I feel like if they just swapped it around, if every set we just got one color and they just like you will be the test dummy, it wouldn't feel as bad. But I feel like 9 times out of 10, green is the only color that just consistently gets sat with these whack ass experimental. It might work. It probably won't work. Like Turles had life flip. You know how bad a deck is when your opponent can swing on you and you're like, damn. They might try some foo-foo shit. Okay, so first I'm gonna sparking negate and I'm just gonna pick up this face-up life. Okay. I'll swing again. Cool. I'm going to use Mass Sand, Brainwash no more, and I'm going to crit my other face-up life. And I just turned off an entire turn. I'm like, why was that possible? Like, and then they were like, okay, we messed up. Instead of controlling your opponent's face-up life, we'll make it so that you control your own face-up life. But now, since the mechanic is actually sound and well thought out, we're going to have to scoop it out of green, and we're going to give it a yellow. It's like green just gets shafted so hard for no reason.
The thing with that with green is because of all these experimental things, I didn't really like green when I first started playing in like set 3 and stuff. It was blue all the way. But ever since the Unison and Ginyu and all that, I fell in love with green. Just because I like these fun decks and they've been fucking... I haven't tried Beerus and Champa. I haven't been that insane yet. But like Cooler, King Cold, Ginyu, the Roshi, I'm gonna try Piccolo as well too, but just all these things where it's just these, like you're saying, it's just experiments where there's like, let's see what we can do, and then when we perfect it, we'll put it in a better color. I don't know. I've been enjoying green for that reason specifically, and they all have like each deck has at least one that's gonna be, okay, yeah, when you swing with this, your opponent drops one. Or when there's like, yeah, we remember there's hand control in here. You can go nuts with it, but we'll give you one extra card that does that. Being the new one being Piccolo, where it swings twice. It's just basically a dual attack Zamasu without the protection.
Yeah, and the green one now, Roshi is just pretty much a slightly better version of Beerus Champa. Because they want to do the KO thing. That's their current thing with green now. It's KO, a battle card, and a battle card. Then you can play a bigger body for an energy, and then it's like, well, okay, then what do I do next? Well, I don't have these cards, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna KO it and sit there and pass. Hopefully, pray for the best.
It's the Bandai board meeting. They're like, in this new set, we're gonna push everything to its limits. Red, Gogeta will draw more than any other red deck has ever drawn before. Sin will put more minuses. Pycon is going to do more deck fixing. Deadku is going to start manipulating. We're going to have an extra deck themed or an extra card themed, and it's going to just draw all these cards and play all these cool things. Yellow's going to discard more cards.
Yellow's going to have a starter deck. That's it.
Yeah, look, Monkey Goku, we blew our yellow budget on Monkey Goku. Piccolo's going to have to take this L. Okay, what's green going to do? Oh, we're going to stretch green all right. Really? Yeah. Green's going to have so much destruction, and it's essentially going to amount to doing the same things other decks either do for free or pay 1 energy for. Wait, what? Yeah, I said what I said. Sorry, dog. Sometimes you get the short stick. I always get the short stick. Well, I'm not putting that deck in red. Red's busted. Like a green's developer's got to be mad. They gotta
While you're saying this, all I picture is a board meeting and people wearing like the colored morph suits.
Green's morph suit is tear stained.
Dude in a green morph suit, like a big green screen, and it's like just like stained on his face. And then like big red morph suit and a black morph suit and a blue morph suit, and they're all sitting there
This is how we can imagine Bandai members get paid. They have developer teams for each color, and every time your color takes a spot in a top 8 cut, you get a bonus. So Green's over here with 5 o'clock shadow, ragged eyes. His morph suit has holes in it. Clearly
That looks
hasn't
like me.
eaten in days, weeks even. Red is bad. Red is fat, dude. Red is sitting here.
Chonky.
Chonky boy.
Even when green gets a sniff of success, then they're like, "Oh, we gotta ban something right away." Even if it gets like a little sliver of success,
Not
you're
even
like, "All right."
of success. When we're already fucking the worst deck in the format, we lose our best fucking card.
He said, please, Bandai-sama, I've given my kidney for the faded rivals. Can we at least have a decent leader? No! You will get what you get!
And you
I'm
went
not
to
even-
turtle school.
Come here,
I'm
Red.
not a green player, but I'm like, it needs some love. Green definitely needs some love.
You're choosing
back
favorites.
Bro, you got so much. Green got so much love this set, dude. You have 4 leaders on one card because it's just so bad. You need that many leaders to try to make up for it.
Yeah, and then play that against SS4, and you're like, "Well, this is kind of garbage." Except for Gotenks. Gotenks is actually pretty decent, like I mentioned, but that Roshi is. I wish it was a little bit better. Just
Hot dog flavored water.
I now
Yep.
need morph suits and actors so we can make these skits. Just like, you choose
That would be
favorites.
fire,
I'm down.
honestly.
I'll go to the
Shut up,
doctor.
Green.
We
That
all,
suit.
need to buy a different colored morph suit based off the colors of Dragon Ball and pretend we're having a Bandai board meeting on what we're doing for the next set support. But we'll do it on like the set that's coming out once we figure out like how the decks are and how they function for each set. So like we would do it now for Zenkai 1. So like we got to figure out, like, we'll get one of those, like, big muscle suits that make you look all jacked, but then we'll wear that, but then wear a red morph suit on top of it. So then, like, walk in all jacked and roided out, like a big red morph suit, like, I'm red. How's it going? And then we'll get, like, the skinniest player in the world to wear, like, the green one and be like, I'm anemic!
It's just gonna be sad. It's just like, Papa Bandai doesn't choose favorites. Shut up, Green. So next order of business. We're making another overall
sitting there with a cold fucking can of like
beans. It's just beans. It's
beans.
Beans.
I was gonna say
everybody else gets steak. Like
Campbell.
Campbell gets a big filet mignon.
Not even everybody else too, because literally
like
at the end he goes,
off-brand Campbell's.
we're making an overwhelm SCR. Black looks up from his corner, his dog bowl empty.
Like just
And that is. Bandai just looks at him. And it's red. What? Come on!
comes into the corner. We're gonna make an overwhelm secret rare.
Yeah, for real. Like,
I think that was the ultimate slap in the face when they were like, "Hey guys, you know how we said that only black could have overwhelm? Never mind. Now red gets their own overwhelm, and it's the best overwhelm we've ever made in the game."
it's just.
And the whole architect is OP as well, so like, yeah.
I don't choose favorites. But we are giving Red another secret rare, and it is over. Oh, God.
All right.
Wait, is there another? Oh, for this last one. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, we got more?
Red keeps getting SERs, and it's not.
Red has 2 overwhelms. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Good luck on the rest of the conversation. I'll catch you guys next time.
Have a
It's
good
late.
one.
I wish to shoot
we're-
people with Gundams.
Yeah, we're gonna be cutting out very shortly here.
Oh, did that game already come out? The Gundam shooter game?
So
Yeah.
much fun.
Gundam
How much is it?
Overwatch?
Free.
0.
What's the name of it?
Gundam
Gundam
Evolution.
Evolution.
All right. Well, at least I know what I'm going to be doing in a half an hour.
By the way, Bandai, if you're watching this podcast, look at this cross-pollination while we support your other game. Rocket.
Also, please fix the Dark Souls servers, man. I want to play Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 and beat my friends in PvP, please.
Okay, that's not the point of kissing ass.
Make Tekken 8 great. Use
Fair.
all the money you're getting, put it into there. Thanks.
Tekken 8 for sure.
There we go.
Thanks.
That's all
Have a
I
good
give a
day.
shit about.
But by the way, please.
But before we wrap up here, was there any closing thoughts on either Core, PPG, fucking anything else we talked about?
I
Red.
think Robert's back.
Oof.
Everyone's asking about Core.
Yeah,
What?
I'm here. Sorry, I'm in a restaurant right now.
Restaurant.
Hold on. I'll show my face real quick. Hi, I'm here. Give me like 2 minutes to finish ordering, and then I'll hop onto a quiet place and talk to you guys.
Sounds
Huh.
good.
Sounds
Sorry.
good.
Busy night.
He said 2 minutes. He's gonna order some food and he'll get to a spot where he can talk in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I just
Discord
came on to
empty.
say hi, and that was it. So I'm gonna go play Gundam now that I found out that's a game available.
That's a
All right,
30
in the
minute
Discord, we need to exchange friends so that we can all play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm gonna go to Training Chamber 1 if anybody wants to discuss this game while I download it.
I feel like Uni's got everyone on this game. It's just like, wait, you guys didn't know it was out yet too? Get on.
No. There's
I had no
meeting
clue.
going on until 3 a.m. Pacific.
Wait, there's a server update? Maintenance for it?
That just happened? Damn.
You guys put the bar of happiness up here, and then you just treated me like I was, a Gogeta player. Like, this
To
is
be
not
fair.
okay.
To be fair, I was playing it at the start of our team call. I hate to say it, but I was. And then I stopped to pay attention. So it was up before. It's not up now. All I'm saying is red is the target to beat. I think that if you want to have any moderate success, you need to first start your testing. I don't care if your friend keeps cracking your ass with SS3. I don't care if your friend is dogging you raw with PyCon. You need to sit down versus Sin and Gogeta. And if your match record is not 50% or more against it, you just gotta choose another deck, or you're not gonna have a good time. Those decks are not only good, they're actually the definition of meta. They are the most popular decks right now. Like, I'm literally looking at some stats from Spain.
Yeah, that one was like 10 Gogetas, 1 Sin in top 16.
It was absolutely ferociously vomit inducing, disgusting. There were 77 decks, 15 of them were Gogeta, 13 of them were Sin. That's half that's a third of the tournament being those two decks. And that's insane right there. 48%.
Do you think it's just new set hype?
I think that it's a mixture, because while yes, Gogeta is it's I'm not gonna say fool's gold. Oh, maintenance, no. I'm not saying it's fool's gold, but
He's hiding the pain.
But no, they're actually really good. Sin and Gogeta are the respective final bosses for GT. So whenever they get printed, normally there's some respect on their name. Unless you talk about that black Gogeta SCR that was absolute cheeks. But basically, I think it's both. It is new set hype, but they're both very, very much so liked characters. And it doesn't help that they are both very, very overtuned. And actually, to be real, I'm not even going to say they're completely overtuned. It's just that the gap between them and the rest of the decks in the set is pretty gross. A mid-tier Zenkai deck can dust a non-Zenkai deck. PyCon will actually just raw dog a bunch of other decks pre-Zenkai. But it's just weird that Gogeta and Sin are just a chunk higher than the rest of the decks. So it may change, but yeah, I don't think it's just fully new set hype. Those decks actually do deserve to be where they're at. I don't know, man. And I think there's still room for lots of innovation. We were talking about Dirty Burst, we were talking about Negates. But like I said, Juha really did just shove 4 Scions in there and was waxing blue. Now, he had some other matchups that the deck wasn't quite good enough against. I'd like to say that aggro list is probably significantly weaker versus red. But
he also was running that was literally the list that I ran when we found out what the GT leader was, without any cool cards. There's so many better things he could have added. He was just hey, this list was good a month ago. Let's run it. If he wants to make aggro work, he could have done it a lot better now.
I'm back. Sorry, I'm here. Yeah.
Close this out.
Oh,
let's hear the tournament, how it ran.
Yeah, so CoreTCG went. I thought it went exceptionally well. We had a little bit of a hiccup at the start with some software issues, but that's not anything anyone can really predict or plan for. Once we got started, the event went really smoothly. When looking at the top 16 16, kind of what you guys were just talking about with all the red stuff. I mean, I think there were it's like either 9 or 11 like top 16 red decks between Pan, between Gogeta, between Sin, and so on and so forth. Obviously, blue is what won it, but and I know there's some controversy between that I actually can speak to, being the judge at the table during the stream. But the red thing is kind of interesting. It's highly represented. It's super early in the format. Aggro tends to be the dominant thing at the very beginning of any format. Just speaking historically through all of our previous formats, and then, but they're generally they generally tend to be set, as in like we're not going to see very many iterations of these aggro decks. And as control and tempo start to be developed over the course of the next month, we'll see some differences and things like that. But I thought the breakdown of the decks was highly read, but there were a lot of really, really good decks that were just being represented, except for black. I think we all know where that sits.
Black got shafted.
Yeah.
Wait, so are we allowed to talk about I missed the drama. I always miss the drama, or are we just sidestepping it, or what drama was there?
I have a question for his drama.
Sure. Go ahead. Question first.
When he picked up New Ruler and read it like it hasn't been in the game for like 3-4 years. It's more like 2 years.
Feels like 3-4.
What happened?
It feels like
what happened here? Did you feel like this was slow playing at all?
No. Okay, that's fair. Look, I mean, even the best of us, right? Sometimes we second guess. Sometimes we go, wait, can you play that with a 2-drop unison instead of a 3-drop? As time moves on, at least from my personal experience as a competitive player, I know what a card does, but sometimes I just can't remember the specific details. It's like explaining words that you use every day, and then when someone's like, "What's that mean?" You're like, and you kind of freeze up. I think in that situation, we're looking at a similar thing. Like, he knows what the card does. I think he was checking to make sure that it was legal. It's not like he took a whole lot of time, anyways. But in his defense, Mikhail played consistently throughout the entire match, which was he took his time, which is totally legal and fair. And he thought through all of his decisions, and I can see his hand. So I was sitting on his side of the table the entire game. And so I see his thoughts and his plays. And Andrew, who was sitting on my side of the table the round prior, when he was in round 7 on stream. And so I had them switch for that reason, because I've already seen Andrew and had him play. And also he's a local of mine, so I don't want it to look like conflict of interest in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But look, at the end of the day, no, he was not slow playing. I've seen slow playing, and that most certainly was not it. Could Andrew have scooped 20 minutes earlier in his match? Yeah, and he and I talked about that afterwards, right? And I think a lot of people are being short-sighted when it comes to that. They're like, oh, the blue player only won because of slow play. No, I mean, the red player should have picked up his card sooner when he knew he was dead. But he chose to try and go for that 1% win. And you know what? He had every right to do so. And Andrew's a fantastic player, but he was trying to bank on that to get a good first game a win. And it just didn't work out in his favor that time. Right? Yeah, the SCR. Because Mikhail went down to what? 1 life. And I just sat there. Of course, I had to be quiet and not make any motions, but I just sat there. I was like, no, don't fish for the 1 card, because he's going to be able to handle your Vegeta. There's a reason he went to 1 life, right?
Oh, the unstoppable was wild. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, well, honestly, the baby counter ape does the same thing. It'll just bottom deck the card. You play, because the way the counterplay says is it says play this card, then if the card is 7 or less, bounce it down. So baby would come into play, Vegeta would resolve, and then his auto just says bottom deck the card, ignoring barrier. So, I mean, either way, you're screwed, right? Between unstoppable or the 5-drop ape. So, you know, he was dead on his feet. The red player didn't know it, right? It's not slow play because it took 40 minutes. It was a tough, grindy match. And if you go back and you watch the stream, you'll notice that the blue player, he took his time and he always made sure that he had his energy up, ready to go, until Andrew tapped out to less than 4. Tapped until less than 4, right? And then he would play his cards. So there's no slow play there. There was strategy. And I think a lot of players who watched the stream failed to see the strategy in it. And it's agonizing watching a game, and it's agonizing watching just nothing happen from turn to turn. And so, sure, it can be misconstrued as slow play, but I go slow play warnings earlier in the day, and I did not feel like that was one of those situations. And so, that's not going to appease everybody, right? No one's going to be happy all the time, and people are going to. I'm sure I'll be on the Hell group, and when this video airs, and oh, terrible judge, he doesn't know slow play, and blah blah blah. So you know what? Fine, you're entitled to your opinion, right?
To be
But
fair,
you weren't there.
If anybody makes it to the end here, it's already an hour and a half in, so they gave us the view.
True.
There you go. Well, it's good enough. It's
So
worth
they gave
it.
us the view.
It's worth the Hell group. Don't worry. I think probably all of us have been there.
Yeah,
Harrigus draws 4.
That's
why I'm there.
yeah. So, I thought. So that drama aside, I thought the rest of the event went super well. A lot of great players. The turnout was good. It can always be better. Spent a lot of time talking with players about things that Bandai could do better to generate better turnouts and be more proactive on getting players back into this game. I don't think it is dead unless we let it be dead.
How big was the event?
We had 149 players.
Very sexy.
That is pretty good. That is
which is not. It's good, but it's half of what the San Diego event last May was, right? And that was a stale format. We were already, I think we were into Ultimate Squad, but we were still playing Trunks. It was like Trunks, Cheetah, and Gamma the entire time, and U7. Those were like the big 3. Then the San Diego regional in May was 250, 300 plus players. It was huge. It was massive. And this time we had quote unquote worse pricing from Bandai until they added the store credit with CoreTCG, which everyone pretty much got, right? So there's, and it's a new format as well. So, but I think part of it is that this was like announced super late. I think we had like a month and a half of preparation time, and gas is expensive, flights are expensive. You can't book stuff anymore late in the game. You got to plan out your life, and so I think that has a negative impact on how the tournament turns out. But it's still a pretty good turnout. 150 players is nothing to scoff at, right? I mean, that's a tough competition.
It's the biggest one we've had, right?
It's the biggest one we've had since the set dropped. Yeah. So
yeah.
Scoff at. I will say.
It's been for a while now. Like we have, Origins was 40 players in the same time you're talking about, right? Like, I'll take that all day.
It's like
it's definitely a good sign. It's definitely a positive, right? So, and
it does make it hard though in comparison of what you're talking about, because the what's the name of the card for getting? Let me think of the name. Right now, first place for playing the store champ is more money almost than like getting top 4 at a regional.
Oh, the new SSD
Goku swap card.
Yeah,
the swap card.
Yeah, that got bin really fast. Like,
honestly,
I want a few $100 a piece.
This is just me speaking from experience on working in companies that run card games and stuff like that. I think the regionals should be more prestigious than they are, at least the in-person ones. So, like, the tournament structure, the prize structure that we have for an online event is great. But then, why would I travel to an in-person event for the same pricing as the online event, right, when I could just play from home? So I'm investing a lot of time and money, which are crucial, components in our daily life, to go and get the same pricing. If I were Bandai, and it doesn't cost them anything, these in-person regionals, you should be getting play sets of these winner cards as opposed to single individual cards, right? Top 4 should get 4 of the King Vegeta and 4 of the Kai and 4 of the whatever. You know what I mean, right? Make it worth. Does that depreciate the card's value a little bit? Yeah, it does, absolutely. But also, these cards are prestigious in that regard, right? I mean, you're traveling to have this like really badass play set of imposing presence, not get one every couple months because of a regional. And also, you need something to incentivize the players to want to travel because it's expensive, right? And so even if they don't get their money's worth in the cards because they've lost value because there's more in circulation, they still get the value, like the intrinsic value, right, of having won a place out of these cards and having that like kind of bragging factor, so to speak. So just a thought, anyways. I mean, it's not a perfect system, and I'm not saying that my idea is the right idea, but it's. I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction.
You don't even have to go that far in some of it, because just a full year ago, when I won Gen Con, not only did I get a full playset of those crappy cards that I can't even remember, plus the gold stamped ones that I sold to Puna for like 600, but I also got a full playset of the Bergamo SS4 Beyond All Limits, as well as King Pick. Like, it makes no sense that a full year ago, getting first place in a regional got me playsets of these cards. And now you go up the ladder and you're like, okay, you got top 16. Cool, you're getting one of these cards. You got top 8, you're getting one of these cards. Oh, you won? You have a full playset if you're looking for one of each card. Bro, like, why?
Right, and like, sure, I can see the one of you don't have to work as hard for an online event. So, not that it's not any less skilled, right, to win an event online. I'm not one of those people who thinks online events aren't real. I've topped almost every online regional I've played. But it's not as difficult getting there, right? It's more accessible. So give less. And then the in-person stuff, give more, right? You have to actually, it's almost like a pay-to-win, sort of, which I don't necessarily like, but when I'm saying it out loud, it sounds like that. But, I mean...
what you're also talking about is the fact that there's not an in-between, right? Like, we're the only game that still exists where we don't have Grand Prix or whatever you call them, like Flesh and Blood.
Yes, Grand Prix. We don't have anything between regional level and national level.
Right.
We don't have premier events.
So it's basically like you play in one event, and like, who here has their Nats invite? Raise your hand. Pretty much probably all of us. So realistically, why should you bother? You're like, not yet, but I will. They'll let me know. I haven't got my email yet, and I won 2 regionals. But like you might as well just like you just go play another game. Like, I hate to say that, but I go play my
kind of what I've been doing
right now. Like, I'll show up for Nats, but like, why play in every single event for like nothing when I can go play another game that has a point system? It's just more advantageous for my time.
Right.
If you're not winning regionals or topping regionals right when those promos come out, it just starts to depreciate. And also, my friend, say it with your chest, Mr. Rob. You were saying it's not easier to win online. Look, all I know is that people aren't Majin Vegetaing and Foot Kamehamehaing their ways to first place and in-person regionals. So I'm going to just say it with my chest. It's a little easier. I might take some BS to an online regional sometime.
Well, again, with online regionals, people are more likely to experiment because they're like, I don't have to travel, so I don't have to try as hard. So I can play something a little bit more janky. Maybe it'll work, and maybe it doesn't.
One phrase, best of one, no side, buddy.
Which I don't get.
I want to say something to that, though. I think there's something to be said about that specific, because you're absolutely right. It's a different skill set to play best of 1 than best of 3. It takes a different. Good players have to be ready for anything and be able to adapt, right? It's really easy to play best of 3 when you know the format. It's not so easy to play best of 1 when you don't know what's in your opponent's deck because you've never seen that leader played in your life, right? So how do you respond to that? And can they blow you out? Absolutely, right? But that's part of the game. And that can happen just as easily in best of 3, sideboard or not, right? I think it's just a different skill set, not necessarily that it's easier or harder. It just, I think it tests players' knowledge more, and then their reaction to said whatever comes across the boat. But Jake is good for a game. Jake is really good for a game. Otherwise, the game becomes really stale and unpleasant to play. Right. So, best of 1 definitely has its place. At least for me, it has its place among the community. So
I feel like best of 1 rewards you for knowing interactions that are more obscure, interactions that border between obscure and playable in terms of power. but I feel
Yeah.
like best of 3 rewards you for testing format awareness and actual just
Yeah.
games put in, because your side deck is going to cover jank
Yes.
stuff. There can be those times where you're like, yo, like, I don't fear this deck, and this deck, but my homies have been messing around with this stupid Crimson Warrior Goku that can like 8-0 me, so I'm going to make sure that I got something in there for this. But in a best of 1, you could literally just be minding your own business. You could have put in mad hours to test, and then once again, some dude comes in with Foot Kamehameha and just ruins your life, and it just hurts. it just hurts. You were minding your own
Let me
business.
know when you're over that. Let me know.
Not
Look.
that that's never happened to you, right?
Actually, I played in a single online regional in my life and bubbled out after facing Jordan in the finals. Well, our last round. I've never been Foot Kamehameha, but I've looked to the side and I've been like, that motherfucker would have gotten literally all the negate sided in versus him, and it would have never happened in game 2 or 3. And so that's why I don't.
Whatever happened to
That's
that guy?
fair.
He won like 3 regionals when that was legal, and then he like disappeared.
He is the equivalent of a toe sucker, in my opinion. Foot Kamehameha.
Dang.
You like feet. You like sucking toes.
I will say this.
All right.
With the online regionals as well, like I've only played in like 3 online regionals this year. One of them I got 3rd place, one of them got 10th place. Both of them were best of 1s, right? Obviously, the one where I came through with U7 was the first regional of that format, but I obviously had practiced it, right, heavily. And just like how you said, I kept track of those obscure interactions, kind of like you were saying. And obviously, I practiced against the meta. And then the funniest thing was, I think if you remember when we talked last time as well, Chris, literally almost every matchup I faced was not a meta deck, and I'm like, wow, what is this? Why am I facing Vegex Mill? Why am I facing Starter Broly? Why am I facing, like, what the hell is this shit? And then my only loss was playing KP, and I'm like, wait, so I lose the matchup I practiced against off of one minor error. And it's like, oh, of course, right? It's like the one I practice against I lose, not the one I, like, what? Like,
Having
it's
a good old day until like
Right?
yellow Topo comes out of nowhere and you can't touch any of its battle cards, and you're like, absolutely not. Like, what's going on?
Anniversary Dispo, it's very possible.
Hey, look.
Oh man, you guys are the
All right,
best.
guys. Well, I think my food is ready, so I'm probably gonna go back
This is
inside.
perfect way to end it here. That's
Yeah.
we got to the end of the talk. We got fucking analytical data from the CoreTCG regional. We going off about online regionals. I don't know why they aren't all pre-side, but you know, that beats me. That's just another hour topic that is way too late to go into, and hopefully by the end of this Gundam will be back online for you guys. You know, maybe I'm raising the happiness bar just for it to come crumbling down. But for anybody that made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, go support our sponsor, Game 3. Use DBS Deck Planner. You're already on here. You use the website. Come on. There's the Patreon. There's the content creators that are in this video. The links will all be in the description. Go check out Uni, myself, Briar. I know Robert has his channel as well, too.
Sure.
Yeah. But if there's anybody else, everything will be in the comments below. I don't know what else. Is there anything else besides sucking toes?
Yeah, don't forget to check out Ginger Fusion.
Yes.
Ginger Fusion.
Ginger Fusion.
Yeah.
Yep. And
That
also,
was Robert, right?
don't forget, on Deck Planet, it does have a direct link to our TCGPlayer code, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And in the video.
So make sure you use that as well. Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, everyone that plays Foot Kamehameha, stay sucking toes.
For real, for real.